The following podcast will contain spoilers for all aired episodes in HBO's Game of Thrones and all published books in George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire series.
Jesus, book owner, read a book.
Book owner.
I've read it. I own books. Yes, I do own books.
Ooh, that's a sick burn.
It's Greg's Mad Max title, book owner.
Book owner.
Finally, we get it. It took us an extra 6
In the world of Mad Max, that makes him a grotesque.
Oh shit, it's the people eater and the book owner.
It's just Greg throwing books out of like a station wagon.
I'll take it.
He wouldn't throw books.
Welcome to the Vassals of Kingsgrave DragonCast edition. We're back to review the second episode of the 6th season of Game of Thrones, titled Home, directed by Jeremy Podswa and written by Dave Hill. My name is Zach, also known as Alias on the forums, and joining me for this review we have... Michal, you're first.
Wait, when did we decide that I was first?
Hey, tangent to the order.
Look at the text thing.
I'm not German, as you well know.
This is me, Philfish.
Michal, is this your first time?
Clearly a Swiss accent. Jeez, not everything's
Already fell apart.
Hi guys, I'm Michal. I'm inkasrain on the forums. Whatever.
Great start, guys.
So happy to be here with all of you.
Very nice. Alright, next.
This is drownedsnow, Adam in real life.
Hi, I'm being Shoeshiner on the forums.
I am Jeff14 on the forums.
This is Steven, SJLee on the forums.
This is Katie, LadyGriffin on the forums.
This is Casey, Blue-Eyed Queen on the forums.
This is Matt, Varley on the forums.
My name is Paul, and I go as Pod's Plight on the forums. The forums.
How do I follow that? This is Greg, claudiusthefool on the forums.
And this is Small Paul, SerDinnerRoll.
So yes, we have not only an amazing amount of hosts joining for this week's DragonCast, but also two Pauls. So this won't be confusing or a clusterfuck at all. But yeah, we're trying our very best here to review the second episode of Game of Thrones, starting of course with the Lemoncake reviews. Starting with you, Michal, what did you think of Home?
I shockingly actually really liked it. I'd probably give this a 4 lemon cakes.
I don't think this has ever happened before.
I know. My emotions for my emotions are gone, but my intellectual understanding was actually like, okay, this is pretty good. Yeah. And yes, I did enjoy it. The beginning especially was quite delightful.
Very cool. All right, Adam, what did you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's grown on me. I think I was saying it was maybe like a 3 at first, but I think I'd give it a 4 now. I watched it again today, and it was just a really fun episode. Despite, the whole Roose Ramsey thing, which I think was kind of stupid, but whatever.
All right, Bing, your thoughts?
This is getting really boring because I'm also giving it a 4 out of 5.
Oh, what?
I'm sorry. I actually put it on the poll as 4 out of 5.
At least make it like a 4.12 or something.
There are actually quite a few 5s.
That's not Paul. That's Bing.
Yeah. Wait for it.
Wait for it.
4.20. Whatever. Smoke weed every day. I don't know. I actually liked every scene, which is very rare for me these days with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
So, I didn't even mind the Roose thing, other than it was poorly set up, but whatever.
All right, and Jeff?
Originally, I didn't really like it that much, but then I got guilted up, so I guess I would probably say it's a 4 now.
Okay.
So I got through all my little bitchy hate of it. I realized I actually enjoyed it.
Peer pressure.
No, we thrive here on bitchy hate.
All right.
No, just regular hate.
Yeah, regular hate too is true. So Steven, what did you think?
I'd say 4 out of 5 too. No reason to beat that dead horse.
All right. And Katie?
4. I liked it. Move on.
Cool.
God.
Wow.
Shut up. Why did you ask?
I didn't realize Ron Swanson was on the call.
You're not my real dad, Zach.
What number would you give it, Casey?
Well, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5 as well.
Whoa. Unbelievable.
Well, if I can't elaborate, I really thought that it was an amazing episode. I loved every scene of it. You know, I was amazed, horrified, like every emotion possible. The only thing I didn't like was I felt the mountain scene was a bit filler. Like whenever they do something that I feel like doesn't really pertain to the plot other than like just exemplify something, I'm like, really? Do we have to? But other than that, I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. And Matt?
4.5 out of 5. I agree with everything that Casey said except for the mountain part, because I feel it wasn't filler. It's just like giving the total atmosphere of King's Landing after the walk, and why Tommen didn't want his mom going out into the city, and that while the guy was pissing, a mosquito got on his forehead and the mountain was just helping him out.
True. And Paul the First, what did you think?
I will give it a 4.321 because the countdown to Jon's resurrection is finally complete. And so yeah, it was really good. A couple quibbles here and there, but nothing to get too worked up about. Very good episode.
Got it. And Greg?
I'm going to give it a 5 just because I think this is the most I've ever enjoyed an episode of Game of Thrones. Just because yeah, I know. There were little nitpicks, but like I had such visceral reactions to everything, and it was like because it's so off the books and off the rails, some of it, that it was just so enjoyable. Like I laughed out loud, I almost cried. I was cheering. It was so much fun to watch, and I usually don't get into it that much because like we always like know what's going to happen, and this one I had no idea what the hell was going to happen for most of it.
All right, and Paul the Second, the last one, what did you think?
I am definitely giving it a 3.5 because I'm not as forgiving as you guys.
All right, and we'll have to hear what exactly was your quibble. As for me, I would give it a pretty high rating as well, probably like a 4.25. There were a couple of scenes in this episode that I thought were absolutely exquisite. I loved them. They were exactly what I look for, both in the A Song of Ice and Fire books and the show. They just totally did it for me as far as that goes, and I really, really enjoyed them. And the rest was, for the most part, from okay to really good. So, yeah, I'd give it pretty high as well. I really enjoyed it. And it was probably the best Dorne episode in Seasons, wouldn't you think, guys? Probably the best Dorne.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it.
Nothing was wrong.
I loved every bit of Dorne in this episode.
Episodes like improve by now, right? When they don't have Dorne in them, it's just like an automatic
You didn't see the sand snakes in King's Landing? Because I saw them.
They were in the background, lurking with the extras.
Yes. Just like
they were dressed up as guards.
You guys are joking, right?
Thank you, Matt. I was like, who's gonna really?
I was like, oh shit, I need to rewatch?
Won't you guys be surprised when it was revealed that Robert Strong is actually sand snakes sitting on top of each other, just in the suit of armor? I give that 5 out of 5. If that's what I go for, I'll give it a 5 out of 5.
And she was really trying to like brush his face tenderly and like lean in to whisper a sexual whatever, but instead she just, yeah,
they were like bad pussy, boom.
All right, let's go ahead and jump into it then. We're going to do a similar structure that we did last week, so we're just going to kind of go scene by scene as they were shown, because it was kind of like the exact same structure as last week, but yeah, let's go ahead and get into it with Beyond the Wall, where we join the Three-Eyed Raven and Bran as they peer into the past with their green sight. They return to a Winterfell of Eddard Stark's youth and watch as he practices in the yard with his brother Benjen. Bran looks fondly at this happier time and watches as Lyanna Stark comes riding in. Lyanna wonders who Benjen will spar with when Ned goes to the Eyrie and suggests Willis, a young Hodor, but his mother and or grandmother and or great-grandmother Nan says that he will be no fighter. Bloodraven draws Bran out of the vision when he sees him becoming too attached. Bran wakes up under the watchful eyes of the Raven, a child of the forest probably, and Hodor. Bran and Hodor go to find Mira, and Bran resists the urge to ask for her to draw him like one of her French girls. And Mira wonders how they intend to fight a war from inside a cave. The forest lady tells Mira that Brandon Stark needs her. And that's it, the first scene. This was one of the scenes that I thought was spectacular. They mentioned David and Dan in the after the show thing that flashbacks can be a storytelling crutch, and I do agree with that for the most part, but the way that it's couched in this case, in Bran kind of looking into the past and wanting to stay there and having that sort of extra weight to it added a lot. And besides that, it was just, this is the kind of stuff I love. I desperately wanted to see something like this, a scene into the past like this in a happier time. And it just made me giddy, as I assume it also did for Bran to see that moment. So yeah really loved it. Yeah, Lyanna Stark.
There's no heart trees in the courtyard. They're not supposed to see this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it gave me a lot of warm, fuzzy feelings just because of the deliberate, what is the word, staging to remind us of the first episode of the show. It also just made me remember just like how much I miss season 3 of Game of Thrones when there were more Starks still alive.
Oh, jeez.
All the Starks.
Right in the field.
Thanks for reminding us, Katie. Jeez.
All 3 of them are dead.
Everyone in that shot was dead except for Hodor.
Right.
And
You don't
also
know what
Nan
happened to Nan?
She's at the Dreadfort, right?
in the books.
I mean, in the books.
No, I'm sure Ramsay's taking very good care of her.
Oh, yeah.
He's bringing
In the show, the actual actress died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I assume she probably died at the sacking of Winterfell or something
With
like that.
everyone else.
Yeah. Right.
Well, we don't know what happened to Benjen.
True.
Well,
We don't know.
yeah,
He could
that's
be
very
alive.
true.
He's Dario.
He's in this episode. That's Euron.
Yeah, there you go. Little Benjen was so cute, by the way.
Did anyone think young Roderick Castle looked a bit like Seth Rogen from Freaks and Geeks?
Nice pull. Now I can see it, yeah.
I didn't even know that was him.
I saw that comparison.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out.
Did you not
who is
pick up
that?
the sideburns?
The mutton chops.
Yeah, I missed that too.
Yeah, I was wondering who it was, and I was assuming it was Roderick, but it seems like he should be older compared to Ned if he was just like that young.
I was wondering if it could have been Brandon, but no, he's been excised. He does not exist, as it would seem.
Yeah.
No, doesn't he? I mean, they mentioned him, right? In the first
He
season.
has to exist
Yeah.
because they mentioned him.
Because he died.
He was there, wasn't he? There were 3 kids. There were 3 boys, and
Yeah,
then
there were 3
Lana
boys.
showed up.
Was he? Okay, maybe I just missed him entirely.
Oh, I must have
No,
missed
I
him
thought
too.
Mutton Chops was Roderick.
Yeah, it's a debate between if it's Brandon or Roderick.
Okay.
Oh, I assumed it was Brandon.
If it's Brandon, it kind of looks a bit disappointing to me.
Yeah.
It looks way older.
Needs to be sexier if he was truly.
Darn right. If he's
Brandon.
pulling all that.
Well, Brandon's with, what's her name, Miss Dustin or whatever.
Yeah, he likes to
There you go.
bloody swords and all
Getting
that.
started early.
Did anyone notice that Eddard said, keep your shield up or I'll ring your head like a bell? And John said that in the first season where he's training the Castle Black Boys.
I thought I heard that before.
Yeah,
it wasn't
it
the
did
first
sound
season.
That's a
'cause
good
it was
callback.
with Ollie when he said that.
Was Bloodraven supposed to have makeup on? Not look completely...
He's not Bloodraven. He's the 3-eyed Raven.
Lord Santeca.
Three-eyed crow, come on.
Oh, 3-eyed Crow. Sorry.
Three-eyed.
Well, they call him the
No,
Three-Eyed
he's-
Raven.
he's
in
Three-Eyed
this.
They call him a
Raven.
3-eyed Raven.
Yeah.
He's a Three-Eyed Crow.
Really?
Three-eyed
I specifically
Raven
wrote
is-
3-ER in my notes, so he was a 3-eyed Raven.
It's that weird thing. They made him
Your notes are
Three-eyed
infallible.
Raven instead of Crow, so they don't have to call him
I mean-
Blood Raven.
He's probably still Blood Raven. They're just not laying it out, obviously. But
Yeah, that's fine.
Are they ever going to name him, like give his backstory, or he's just, I mean, some creepy guy in a tree to everybody else who don't know who the hell he is?
Maybe,
we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, maybe there'll be a past scene with him as a young man.
I doubt
Hopefully.
it. Well, it doesn't really matter, even in the books,
Yeah.
that he's Blood Raven, presumably. I don't imagine, other than like backstory connections, it's
Yeah.
actually going to matter.
We
so.
just think it's cool. That's all.
maybe he should look more tree-like. But even so, I thought that Max von Sydow had so much presence and totally worked for this character. He just fit for me really well. So
Big improvement over 3ER.1 or 1.0, right?
yeah.
Did anyone
So-
think that the Children of the Forest thing, that's not how she looked the last time we saw her, right? She's
No,
more
it's
like
not.
No,
She's
she
more
was
like
just
a-
a dirty kid last time.
a Guild Wars character or something.
Yeah.
She looked like
That's
one of
so
the female vampires from Van Helsing.
I mean, she looks
Interesting
cool. It was
poll.
just like, I can imagine like show watchers being like, "What the fuck is that?" Slight tangent. What is her name in the book? The Children of the Forest.
Leaf?
Leaf. Yeah.
Leaf.
All right.
We get it, guys. We all knew Leaf. Way to go.
Good work,
Boom.
everybody.
Trivia
she,
wins.
looked,
Leaf. I got it first.
she looked leafy, I guess, kind of.
She did. Her
Guys.
face looked like it was like a tree or whatever.
Guys, Willis and not Walder? Why?
I
Why?
know, very
Because
disappointing.
there's already a Walder,
Walder.
and show people can't keep two
Right.
characters.
As opposed to the books that don't care if there's a million Walders and the big Walder is small and the small Walder is big. It doesn't matter. But in the show, we have.
Yes.
And he could talk? So what happened?
That's the mystery. That's the mystery. What happened?
That's the final plot of Game of Thrones. What happened to
What happened to
Hodor?
Hodor?
Wait, I tweeted about this last night. I said, are they trying to say sorry to George R. R. Martin by not putting Willis in the series by naming Hodor Willis?
Oh, that's
Maybe.
funny.
For Willis
I felt
Tyrell.
like that was a thing to the like book readers. It was like, you wanted Willis, here's Willis.
Did anybody else think it was weird that there was like a sliding door installed under that tree that the werewood tree is in? Who was
It's
building
magic.
that? It's not a cave. It's like a door.
Yeah, they must have had that installed because when they ran into the cave, there was no door, and like all the skeletons just like burst apart when they entered the cave. So I'm guessing Bran was like, what would be nice right here is a pocket door. Nothing that swings in or out, but just kind of slides. Like save the space. Like we could put stuff around it.
Yeah, the builder.
Builder. There you go.
Bran, the interior designer.
And it did look that Lyanna was much older than Ned in this flashback, right?
Yeah, she's the oldest. It seems. If there's no Brandon.
She's supposed to be the younger sister, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think she was older than Ned.
No, she's not.
No. She was older than Benjen, but younger than Ned, I think.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I agree.
I also checked. She was the younger sister.
Boom.
Knowledge.
All right, thoughts maybe on the mirror. Anything on the mirror part?
1-1. All right.
I'm glad she's not dead yet.
Not paced yet? Yeah.
Well, do we know how much time has passed since last time we saw them? Because a whole season's gone by, and the last time we saw him, it was season 4.
Yeah.
So,
judging by Isaac, 3 years of puberty.
3 years.
He's a man grown.
And a very sharp haircut.
Does anyone think his acting has
nice.
gotten worse? I mean, he doesn't have much to do, but I don't know. I felt like his line reads were kind of flat.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know. His eyes turning white were really, disingenuous, I think.
Yeah.
One line that kind of made me feel weird was when the leaf lady was all like, oh, he's not going to stay here forever. And I'm like, what? Yes, he is.
Yeah, what's he going to do then?
Yeah, that also was like, well, what? How's he going to fight a battle on Hodor?
Battle Hodor.
he's gonna warp the werewood into giant Pacific Rim looking Jaeger and just beat the shit out of the White Walkers.
Dude, I'd love that if they did that. That would be great.
So what is Mira doing outside the cave, you know, where all the skeletons burst out of the snow all of a sudden, just hanging out unawares?
Smoke break?
5 minutes?
Probably feeling stifled.
I believe she was grieving, but...
Yeah. For a whole year.
She's probably bored as shit.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
She's like, I try to have a conversation with somebody, and they're either warging into a tree or saying Hodor. What the fuck?
I don't know. Hodor could bring up some very good points.
It's true.
Hodor.
I agree.
It's not a good situation for Mira, for sure. All right, well, let's go ahead and then move to the next part, which is the first part we get on the wall, where we have Alistair Thorne confronting Davos and telling him it's time to come out. Ooh. Davos grabs Longclaw, determined to fight to the last. Before the Night's Watchman can chop the door down, the gate is breached by a small wildling host led by Dolorous Head, or Dolorous Head or Dolorous Head, depending. I'm all confused now.
I gotcha!
and Tormund. With the help of Wun-Wun, they quickly force the Night's Watchman to surrender. The group goes to see Jon, and lo and behold, he's still dead for now. So thoughts on this first bit we get on the wall?
Dude, there were half a dozen bows drawn, and none of them fired, except for the fucking asshole behind Wun-Wun.
Even after he fires...
paid for it really good.
The rest of them are smart enough to be like, oh, that wasn't a bad idea. Or, that was a bad idea, dude. Nope. Even before he grabs him and smashes him against the wall. I'm not one with, to be oh, look at the blood and violence and stuff, but, in this scene, man, he just smashes up against the wall, and you see this huge blood trail as he tosses him onto the ground. That was just... It said so much, without any dialogue.
You mean it said, don't fuck with giants?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you can totally get why they surrendered so easily.
I don't even know if human beings have that much blood, but whatever.
Metaphor and symbolism.
I mean, that guy had a kill shot on him. He could have shot the giant in the back of the neck, right?
Is that their weak spot?
He shot him on the farthest right of the shoulder. It's the giant's
one arrow would have killed the giant anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't really kill the last of the giants.
Anyone think when they panned back to the scene and they had all the archers pointing at the door, did you still think that they had just been standing there for that entire time? Because at first I'm like, wait, how long has it been? I thought he gave them a day.
They're Night's Watchmen. They watch. That's their skill.
I kept expecting not Bone Marsh, the other guy who always looks like he's pooping his pants. What's his name? To die, because every scene he's always looking very shamefaced. He's and then I thought they were leading up to getting killed, but he didn't. Yarwick. Also Yarwick, yeah.
The guy who's always shitting his pants.
And looking shamefaced.
He needs the brown pants.
As you should be if you are one who's shitting your pants.
We got the bait and switch with Davos. In the trailer, we thought he was going to start killing everybody, but actually he was talking about how bad he was at fighting. So that was nice.
That was nice to get that answer, because we spent how long talking about that on the trailer discussion? A good hour.
Oh boy, they're all back with. They're going to be back with Jon, right? Everyone but the conspirators, right? Like they're cool again.
Yeah, but how many are left? If those 30 guys were all with Alice or Thorin, and those 5 guys were with Jon, are those 5 guys the only Night's Watchmen left?
There were a bunch of people in the hall just arguing with each other during the first episode, right?
I guess.
I feel like they've got like 100 people, maybe, right?
That's left Lord Commander Dollar said to figure out, right?
Interim Lord Commander.
I had that
Interim.
thought. Did give the order. I thought, is he the next Lord Commander? It could be. Yeah.
Well, yeah. If there's only 5 guys to vote, he's the only one we know. So obviously he's gonna get it.
He did get.
And the 5 guys were in that room with Davos.
These are the guys I trust. Who are they? I don't know, but he trusts them. And we know his name.
Our new Lord Commander, Night's Watchman number 4.
Thank you. I'll be dead by the end of the episode.
Shut up, Katie. I like little kids.
He's not a little kid. He's like a pouty teen. He grew up 5 years.
He's hitting puberty.
Yeah. All right. Ollie Watch will continue for next week. But yeah, first we will go to King's Landing, where we have, starting with a King's Landing small folk asshole guy, sharing his own take of Cersei's walk of shame. When he goes to take a piss, he is approached by Sir Robert Strong, who dashes his head against the rocks and returns to his master. Some Lannister guardsmen arrive, barring Cersei's way to the Sept. Cersei protests, but she and her knights stand down. So, short scene here. We get a little more Robert Strong. Casey, you said it was filler. Matt, you liked it. What did everyone else think?
I really liked it.
I kind of want to wonder, how did Robert Strong know where this guy was? If Cersei was like, when she saw him, was like, gotta check this guy's address, find out where he lives, what he does, what his schedule's like, and then I'll send my zombie to go kill him. Or if it was just Robert Strong who just walks around the city in his spare time.
Just a happy accident.
It was probably more of her like sending him out to find and stop these people from talking about, what happened, and just making a message.
How hilarious
Even though he
is
was
that?
supposed to know he was the guy from who like flashed her.
And also, I maintain that the guy had like a fly on his forehead, and Robert Strong was just trying to help him out, and he just didn't know his strength.
He's like Lenny with the bunny rabbits.
Exactly. He fucking bunny rabbited that guy to death. It might.
I think the value of the scene is that it shows some of the consequences of the walk of shame. Obviously, in the last episode we saw Cersei, it was highlighting her personal suffering. But now in King's Landing, she's the item of ridicule and people don't fear her, which is juxtaposed to Robert Strong smashing that man's head in, which means, they will reestablish the order of Cersei being someone the populace of King's Landing is afraid of.
It's also, did anyone think that the visual language of her pulling the thread, because that was a long take on her kind of plucking that string loose from her shirt sleeve, her sleeve or whatever, it's like she's coming a little undone.
Possibly. She seemed kind of in control to me otherwise, though. She seemed kind of together to me.
Yeah, it could go different ways. Like Mr. Korb was writing on the forum about it, and it could be like she's unraveling and coming unhinged, but it could be like she's pulling the strings or trying to pull the thread this way and that and maneuver things. So it depends on how you want to read it, but it should be noticed one way or the other, I suppose.
I think it might be just that, like, one annoying loose thread that you have to pluck, and that was the guy in the wine sink.
No symbolism whatsoever.
No symbolism, yeah.
God damn it, this thing's fucking fraying. I gotta cut it off. Like, it's just bothering me. Like,
I think the MVP, at least for me in this episode, was that poor jobber who's the head of the Lannister Guard, who just looks so upset to be...
Yeah.
Also, I literally thought you just, like, his name was Jobber until I thought about it for a second.
Jobber Lannister.
No, that guy is a little bit wrong.
No, he's a stray cousin.
He did a good job. I mean, he doesn't want to put up a fight. He doesn't want there to be violence, but he has to do this because the king told him.
He's like, the king gave me an order, finally.
Yeah. And the collective sigh of, like, 24 people, like, oh, fuck, we don't have to fight this one guy.
Right. All right, so speaking of the king not having many orders lately, the next scene we get is Tommen and Jaime watching over Myrcella's body. Jaime asks why Tommen did not let Cersei attend. Tommen tells him that the High Sparrow barred her access and shares his frustration with his own inaction. The High Sparrow arrives and says that Margaery has still yet to confess her crimes. Jaime tells Tommen to go see his mother and demands to know why he is not being punished for his own sins. A group of warriors...
Is anyone else thinking at that point, "'Cause you're a man"?
Right, that's what I thought, but yeah. A group of warriors' sons surround Jaime when he threatens violence, and the High Sparrow explains that killing him would be a pointless gesture. Jaime stands down. So yes, scene in the Sept.
It's really good, but at the beginning when it's silent, it's dark, we've got Tommen and Jaime standing over a body, it was like, well, here we are again.
Yep.
Yeah.
This looks familiar.
I do think it really gives us like all we need to really know about the High Sparrow, High Septon at this point. Just, he's a complete misanthrope. He hates humanity. Like, that is the basis for every action he does, is like, everyone deserves to suffer and die, including me.
He's a true believer, kind of, if you want to put it that way.
And he does seem to have kind of a cheery disposition when he's talking about how the small people can take down a whole empire. So he's kind of like, we have a lot of power. It might not be all me, but I'm involved in this powerful movement.
I think this really hurts Bernie Sanders.
Jeez.
Okay.
I saw that comparison.
He looks a little bit like it.
Just because of the frizzy hair, that's really it.
Well, and he's talking about, all those lords and ladies.
Taking off, the big institutions and how it's rigged.
Like, hey,
the small people.
99%, that's us.
It's just so expensive to get into the Citadel these days, and you know what?
And let's be honest, like the High Septon is kind of one of the 1%. I mean, we've all seen how big the Sept of Baelor is. I mean, come on, like that's a palace.
90% of the kingdom's worth is in 10% of the people's hands. It's not fair.
The Lannisters and the Baratheons.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, Michal, I was kind of reading a little bit. I mean, we were kind of speculating last season about whether or not the fact that he was kind of targeting people like Margaery and Cersei could have been a little bit misogynistic on his part. And I did definitely read into that with the part where Jaime says, "What about my sins?" Like, that seems very deliberate to me that they're making that kind of point.
Yeah, it's also not, I mean, part of it's how the society works, right? Like, men aren't punished like that. The men who are punished like this are either enough of a target because they're obviously gay, like Loras, or they're people like, what's his face, who, take it upon the Sparrows, who, Lancel, who take it upon themselves. It's not, there aren't, I don't think, mechanisms. I mean, maybe that's what the High Sparrow is going for in terms of like, there are so many of us, we can, take you down. Like, maybe he's waiting to have enough power that he can take someone like Jaime down. But I did kind of think it was like, we don't punish people like you like that. That's just not, we don't sexually shame you. That's not what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I do think, he said stuff. I know he does in the books. I'm pretty sure he's said it to Cersei about women being sinful.
Oh, he does that like multiple times.
He does a couple lines.
Yeah. So, there definitely is, misogyny is like not a surprising crime to add to this guy's resume. But, he's interesting because it still is a little bit like, I think he believes that he is improving the lot of the people, both through religion and through overthrowing, the muck that has grown there or whatever. But it's hard to say exactly how much of that is like, it's hard to call him not devout because obviously he's devout, but like how much of that is expediency and like extreme, like possibly the most intelligent use of that in the series. But
can't you say that about any religious cult leader or something like that?
Sure, but they're not the subject of story, so...
What do you think his end goal is? Is he just trying to get the Lannisters out of power, or does he want a complete theocracy with no great house? Because, he has a whole thing with Olenna in last season about, have you ever sowed the field? We're the many, you're the few, and then it's kind of saying the same thing again to Jaime.
It's kind of... He wants a theocracy, yeah.
He does this. He has a very palatable populist message that is very tainted by the religious the zealotry that's underneath it, so... It's kind of hard. It's a mixed bag, because it's like, I don't think anyone here is like, yay, monarchy, and I don't think the monarchy benefits any of the people of Westeros. So on the one hand, toppling the monarchy is it's something you would want to happen, but what he's offering to replace it with is in many ways a lot worse.
A theocracy.
All right, well, let's go ahead and go to the last scene we get in King's Landing, where Tommen goes to Cersei and apologizes for everything he's done and failed to do. He is determined to be strong and to make things right, but only with her help. Cersei promises to and embraces her last surviving child. So yes, a tender moment here with Cersei and Tommen.
He promises to be more like his older brother.
Yes.
Oh, great.
Wonderful brother.
This has been one of the big scenes where I've actually kind of enjoyed that they've aged up Tommen. Seeing like the young king trying to figure out what to do, because you have his mom, who's one extreme, the pressure being put on him by the faith, the fact that his wife is imprisoned and he can't do a thing about it right now, and then you have Jaime kind of giving moderate advice but still trying to support him, and just seeing all that culminating. I think it's going pretty well.
Where's Kevin?
I was talking to some people about this. Where's Kevin? Where's Pycelle? Where are all those guys? Where's Littlefinger? What happened to
Kevin's, he's busy. They're running the kingdom. You know, they're off running the kingdom. Cersei's not privy to.
Yeah, we haven't seen a small council meeting yet or anything.
Yeah, it's kind of odd they haven't showed up yet, but yeah, we just haven't seen them.
I think Sir Pounce might be giving Tommen the side eye if he was still around, with Tommen all talking about how he wants to be strong and defeat people and break everybody. It seems a little bit too intense.
Sir Pounce is like, well, fuck you. I'm just going to lay on this windowsill.
That's what a cat would do. I do agree with you, Small Paul, that this was a good moment, and I am enjoying older Tommen as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I just want to say I'm happy that a nickname that I gave somebody actually stick. I don't think that's ever happened before, so happy about it.
Oh, boy.
Forever, Small Paul. Let's go ahead and go to Meereen then, where we have the coalition of useless Marine leaders meeting to discuss how useless they are. Varys explains that Yunkai and Astapor have been retaken by the Masters. Tyrion suggests that maybe the dragons could help, believing that they can be reasoned with or something like that. He goes to see them and shares his childhood obsession with dragons, and they don't kill him for some reason, probably because he's a secret Targaryen, probably. He removes the bindings, and they walk off. And yeah, this was not the other scene that I really enjoyed. Whenever Peter Dinklage gets those moments to kind of give more depth to Tyrion and show some of the more stuff about him, it's just always really works, and it really worked in this scene.
I was mad that after Missandei said, yeah, the dragons are cool with me, they'd never hurt me, Tyrion doesn't take her with him?
Right, yeah.
I thought that's exactly where they were going.
It looked like she was going to send her down there.
I guess that might be for contractual reasons. Maybe she had filled her scene quota and they couldn't put her in there, but still, it's just, boneheaded.
Yeah, she was totally vetted, right?
Right.
I really just chalk this up to Tyrion being stone drunk. It's much more amusing that way.
I had two issues with this scene. The first was I thought Dinklage's tone to the dragons was really horrible, like the weird patronizing voice he put on for them.
That's how you talk to babies, isn't it?
That's not how I talk to a baby. That was weird.
How you talk to pets?
Nope.
That's how I would talk to like a tiger. Be like, good boy, we like you. You're not going to eat us.
My other issue is I don't think they do a very good job making Rhaegal and Viserion look different. They look exactly the same.
They did. They had the same coloring in this one. That was annoying.
I guess it's a cave, so it's dark, but show some green, show some whitish gold. Like, they're supposed to be... In my mind, they look very colorful, and they always just look gray and black in the show.
I thought the way that they were animated was super good. It was probably the most emotion I've seen out of those like dragon CGI characters that we've ever had. So I like that, but you're totally right. The coloring is weird. And I kind of was wondering if there would be a thing where one of them favored Tyrion and the other didn't, if he was going to be like a dragon rider and one of the dragons.
Get that gold dragon, Tyrion.
Right.
Where did they go after they got their shackles off?
I'm guessing they're eating whatever they weren't eating.
Mm-hmm. Just go back in the
it didn't seem like they left. It was just kind of like a not in chains anymore.
They had to go get their stuff before they left.
Yeah, but they can leave.
Right, they could break out of there, couldn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, I was concerned for Varys a lot. He looks after Tyrion left, he's like still in the doorway, like, you know, devil may care, and
his head looks kind of like an egg.
Might be.
You know.
I did not like that last line that Tyrion had, the punch me in the face line. That just did not sound right.
Well, you know, it's setting up some slapstick scene in 3 episodes where like Varys just slaps him. He's like, "What'd you do that for?"
Oh yeah.
You told me to slap you in the face.
Tyrion's not a secret Targaryen.
He totally is, but he is. But
I'm not taking this as confirmation of that, even though he probably is.
I mean, he could be just in the show, but this seems.
I'm not taking this as confirmation since I don't think the show has a single
that means it's got to happen.
But
I don't think that, but I've always thought he was a secret Targaryen anyway. So. Yeah.
Those dragons had to get so low for Tyrion.
Right. That was so heartbreaking. I know. I guess not everyone liked it, but just the whole like just a small dragon the size as me.
Imagine little
like
Tyrion.
That, totally.
Like, oh.
I just enjoyed the gratuitous drop of Gyrion's name. That was enough for me.
They didn't say his name, did they? Just his uncle.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't say Gyrion?
I don't think so. We can assume.
We want it so bad that we heard.
We knew what they meant. Could be Kevin.
But isn't that straight out of like a Game of Thrones, like the first book where he says, like, I asked my father for a dragon, like when he's talking to Jon Snow?
Yeah,
I think so.
No, he says that he went like down to the I don't know, like the Lannister crypts or whatever, and used to pray for a dragon to burn his father and sister alive.
It was a little more brutal.
Which is healthy.
Everyone in that family is healthy, as we know. But first, let's go to look at some more healthy circumstance with our weekly check-in for Arya in Braavos, where the waif returns with her stick to Arya's begging spot and demands to know her name. Unsatisfied with the answer, she beats her again and leaves. Arya lashes out blindly, literally blindly, in frustration. Jaqen Faceless Man Guy grabs her stick and asks her favorite question. He promises her shelter, food, and her eyes if she tells him her name, but she says that she is no one 3 times.
Yeah.
She seems to pass some test, and Jaqen tells her to follow him and to leave her begging bowl behind. So something new for Arya.
How long has she been on the streets here? Because I would think that she would have gotten a little better at being blind. That's just me.
Or she should have made friends with her fellow beggars so they could help her when the evil waif comes to beat her up.
Yeah.
They could grab her from behind.
And did this scene feel a little bit rushed? I mean, like I still thought it was really well done, and seeing her, a girl can have her eyes back, and like it was, the emotion was there, but it also felt like, oh, well, that's quick, and then moving on,
She's got shit to do this season.
Yeah, they don't have time for that.
Gotta get there.
I'm fine with it. It did feel a little rushed.
When the scene came up, I just thought to myself, oh, look, it's ass kicking the clock again. And like, wow, this is getting a bit boring now.
The Braavos tourism board is really like not doing their job, Braavos, we like beating beggars in the street.
the thing is, I'm kind of used to Arya kind of getting her way. That's sort of how the books work. She isn't really blind. She is seeing through cats. She finds all these ways around things.
She doesn't really get rid of
evil. Yeah, right. Exactly. So the fact that Jaqen was like, never mind, you're so cute, come back. It was fun. So, I mean, I was, not expecting anything else. And of course, she's going to go and kick ass and do her backflip thing that she does, so.
She still has lots of ninja training to go.
Yeah.
So, are we just going to get a montage, stretch that over the next, 5 episodes?
That's what I'm thinking. Maybe not that long, but yeah. Training.
Hopefully it's Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah. Do you think she actually learned anything from this experience, or it was just more of a put her in her place, show her what's what? Because it didn't seem like she gained any extra sensory hearing or paying attention to your surroundings or getting better at fighting.
Yeah. As far as that goes, no. I think it was more a moral lesson, more trying to make her into no one, Yeah. And maybe it didn't work, and we obviously don't know how long she was out there, but it seems like she's more in on the experience. She's committed to being the Faceless Man now, a little bit. That's how it felt to me.
Higher pain tolerance.
That too.
Knows what it feels like to get hit in the mouth a lot.
Yeah. You wouldn't believe what a good ass kicking can convince you of, I suppose.
If I got hit in the nose that hard, it would be gushing blood. Because it'll be a dry allergy season, and I'll be gushing blood out my nose anyway. So.
And also, you have a cocaine problem.
Yeah, that's why I might bleeds, but.
No.
No, of course not.
It's not coke.
All right, well, enough with cocaine and nosebleeds, I think, and Arya as well. Once again, I'm sure we'll get another look at her next week to see where this advances. But first, let's go to the scene that perhaps will have a little bit more negative opinions, possibly. Winterfell, where Ramsay and the young Lord Karstark try to convince Roose to attack the Night's Watch and kill Jon Snow, but Lord Bolton is unwilling to take that kind of risk. The Maester arrives to inform them that Lady Walda's child has been born. Ramsay decides to switch to more aggressive negotiating tactics, and Roose gets stabbed. Ramsay tells the Maester to inform the Northern Lords that Roose Bolton was poisoned and to send for Lady Walda and her child. The Maester reluctantly complies to both requests. Ramsay meets the two in the yard, and takes them to the kennels. He explains to her that he is Lord Bolton now and sets the dogs on mother and son. So yes, Roose Bolton is dead. That is what's happening.
Anyone else really loving Maester Wolken? He's like my new favorite character.
He was nice.
I think he's like the representation of show readers, where we're just show watchers, where we're
show
just
readers.
Like,
What's happening? What's happening?
Closed captions.
Is it possible to ask for a transfer as a maester? Because I would definitely put that letter in.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. The one assigned to your
Good.
get one. So.
well,
Right,
there's a dead one in Dorne, so
He's better off as far as maesters go this season.
This scene with Dorne last week just convinces me that this is the most elaborate fan fiction in human history.
This honestly indicates to me that Roose Bolton is going to die really quickly in the Winds of Winter, that there's something going on in Winterfell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I always thought that would happen. I mean, the way the situation is in the book at the end of Dance, it does seem to be leading to something like that. Someone was saying to me, there's so much cabin fever and everything going on. It seems like things are escalating, and I could definitely see Roose dying. It's just it would obviously be staged better than Ramsay just like getting mad and killing him.
Right, which is almost all the more makes more sense that it like played out like this, you know.
Another thing is like a book reader that really got my goat was like, we control the might of our staunch allies, the Karstarks, Umbers, and Manderleys. And I'm like, oh yeah, because in the books, the Manderleys are so trusted by these guys. Yeah, well done.
They think they are, at least. They think they're their allies.
But that's their allies going into the Battle of Winter. Like that's
Roose is under no impression that that's actually the case. He knows that it's hanging by a thread.
But they're saying that like, oh, we just basically need the Boltons and the Karstarks, really, and like, we can take on anyone else. Like that's also kind of the point he was making.
And it was Ramsay that said that.
Yeah,
also,
it was Ramsay that said that, but it went unquestioned by Roose.
Ramsay's just setting up an East Coast West Coast rap battle in the North with all the Eastern houses versus the West.
This is the part about the episode that I didn't like because it sort of invalidates the need for Sansa, which invalidates kind of that whole storyline and just kind of makes a lot of stuff feel pointless to me.
I actually think it doesn't invalidate Sansa because I think it focuses Ramsay's obsession, and he is all about, getting the things he wants, the things he thinks he deserves, which is, I mean, to me, honestly, it made perfect sense that he killed Bolton. Maybe I was just kind of like latently expecting that, but I think that this is like his downfall. Like this is the clear path of him like riding off the cliff.
No, I didn't mean that part. I mean that part makes sense. What I meant was that like it kind of invalidated the need for her in the first place. Like, oh, we need her to secure the North. Oh, not really. The Karstarks are pissed. That's all we really need to secure the North. So why did you piss off the Lannisters by getting Sansa?
Where did the Karstarks even come from? Like that guy just showed up literally out of nowhere. I mean, this whole thing is just rushed. That's the problem. Because I can see it leading that way. I don't mind Roose Bolton dying. Who cares?
Yeah,
the actor's pretty good, but
I just going to happen. Yeah, but this part obviously you're kind of wanting the book Roose who's like, oh, well, I know even if it's a boy, Ramsay's just gonna kill it. I'm cool with that. He's totally knows his son, and he wouldn't be caught off guard like this. You would think, but this Roose is just all of a sudden, oh hey, I might replace you. Now give me a hug. Oh, what?
As it was happening, I was thinking it could go either way on which one would stab which one. Yeah. I could see Roose equally stabbing Ramsay.
I thought the same thing, too.
If the baby is no threat right now, he's not a threat for 18 years or for 10 years. He's not a threat the day he's born.
But if Roose had a knife in his hand, like if a knife dropped from his hand or something, and like Ramsay was just the first one, that would have been amazing.
I have to agree with Michal because I feel like this is show Ramsay, not book Ramsay, but show Ramsay just de-raveling. Like he's going nuts, Sansa's gone, he's losing things, and he just feels like because the baby was born, I feel like he's just losing it and just trying to make everything better again.
He hates children.
Yeah, no, I think he was weirdly emotional, like not in a sociopathic way, because I feel like when he usually torments people, it's with a kind of a wink and a grin and like, oh no, you didn't see this coming. But he felt weirdly hesitant when he was about to order the dogs to tear them apart, like he was kind of turning it over in his head, like what would it be worth maybe to not do this, which is a very unusual thing for Ramsay to do. But I don't know, maybe killing his dad has kind of shaken him in a way.
Is it just me, or has like the whole North forgotten about the Red Wedding?
The North remembers.
Well, we're the Bolton North. I mean, I don't think when they were all like, oh yeah, the Umbers and the Manderleys will stand with us, I'm like, fuck they will. Yeah. It's definitely their perception of this, and I think that Sansa's going to get caught up in some stuff that's going to hopefully prove it wrong, or she'll just get raped again. Either one really could work, but yeah, no, I mean, I think that it's one of those situations where the scene itself didn't bother me. It's just the brutality that Game of Thrones so gleefully and intentionally goes to is just like, I wasn't even surprised. I was like, okay, how's it gonna kill them? Oh yeah, probably the dogs. Yep, the dogs. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
cool.
could have just been, it could have been off
like,
screen, or it could have been a different way. Like the dogs thing seemed a bit.
It was off screen.
They like showing it. You know,
well, I mean,
and they like implying as much as they want. They like being like, Ramsay fed this lady and her newborn baby to the dogs. Oh my goodness. Even though, I don't think she would have been out of bed at that point, but whatever. This is also another thing that happens when you have no women on your writing staff.
The only chances of rainbows and unicorns is from Skagos.
Of course.
But I was going to say it was nicely fitting that Roose got shanked exactly like how he did Robb at the wedding. So it was very poetic.
Yeah, I think
the embrace and then stab.
I think Eric mentioned that on the forums too.
The first point you made, though, Michal, you're right that these are the only North people we've seen, the Karstarks and the Boltons. So I think you're right that when we see other people, they will remember the North and all that good stuff.
Well, the Umbers are keeping Rickon in the show, right?
Right. I think we're headed there. Let's go ahead and move to the next bit in the North someplace, where we have Brienne sharing the story of her encounter with Arya to Sansa. Sansa takes some small comfort in that knowledge that she is still out there somewhere and still unladylike. She apologizes that she did not go with Brienne before and goes to Theon to speak with him. Theon says that it's time to make amends and that it's also time for him to go home. So yes, more stuff with Sansa.
A bit disappointed that Brienne didn't mention that it was the Hound Arya was with, because who else has half their face burned away and is just really big?
I thought they were introduced right before they fought.
Did they talk to you?
Did they say
hello,
names?
my name is Sandor.
I think Pod said that's a Hound.
Oh, you're right.
Sandor
actually.
Clegane.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Maybe she didn't remember.
Well, fucking a blind squirrel finds a nut.
Oh, Matt.
I was just annoyed that Sansa hugged Theon enthusiastically.
Yeah.
I would have accepted a pat on the shoulder, like, okay, see ya, get out of here.
Like, hey, hopefully you make it home without dying in this winter.
Bye.
Hope you get your dick back.
I mean, yeah.
Jesus.
We can argue whether or not it makes sense that Sansa has any fondness for him, but I bought it. I don't know. I thought it was fine.
No, I like this because, I don't think that it's meant for, like, us to think that they're in any kind of, like, romantic feeling. I feel like it's more like, I feel like it's meant just to be like, oh my god, we've survived this together, and we are the only people that we can bond on that together. So I'm like, I don't have any weird feelings about this.
I mean, that is a way that people do bond, is shared trauma. That's a very real thing. So I totally bought it.
The thing is, that's fine. It's just that that's the only thing that Sansa does. Like, she's unbelievably dedicated to Theon, who rescued her, because she's incapable of literally doing anything by herself. I'm just frustrated. Not that there's anything inherently bad about the way Theon and Sansa's relationship is working right now. I mean, it bothers me less on certain levels than Davos being like, oh, it's okay, Melisandre. It doesn't matter that you burned a 10-year-old girl at the stake who I loved with my very life's blood.
He does not know.
No.
Fine. But the point is that it is used to continually prop up Theon as a character. Yeah. And use Sansa to do that. Everything she does is said in this beseeching manner. And if you can't, I don't want you to leave me. Oh my goodness. Like, I wouldn't have survived without you. And it's not that that's not true. It's just that the show is only giving us that element of it. And it's fine when it's Jane Poole, but it's not fine when it's Sansa Stark. So
I agree with a lot of that, but I also would say that one of Sansa's good features that it's accentuating is that she has compassion and care for the people that don't deserve it, and that she can see past some people's flaws. She's not saying, "Oh, I depend on you and you saved me, and didn't do anything," but just like, I can see that you were suffering as well, and I have care for you, even if you are kind of a jerk some other times and you don't deserve anything from me. I still value you.
I think that's a very generous reading, because I would agree that that's Sansa's characters in the book. I could not give you much of a read on what Sansa's defining characteristics are in the show.
Needy.
Yeah, that's about it.
It's changed a bit though. Like she spends like an episode or two with like, oh, completely different, and then just goes back and
yeah. And there was that scene before where she's getting a bath. It's like, no, this is my house. You can't frighten me in my house. And then the rest of the fucking thing goes to shit.
You guys remember Dark Sansa when we thought like shit was about to get real?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, those were the good old days.
How many seasons have we gotten an interview with Sophie Turner saying, Sansa's going to kick ass this season, and then the season blows by?
I want to believe it's finally time when she gets to where she's going. I want to believe that this is the moment where we finally get to see her come into her own. But you're totally right. We haven't seen it.
Where do we think she's going?
If you were her and you had filmed these seasons, what would you say in the interviews about what was coming up in the season?
Okay,
there's nothing really to say. So she's in a no-win situation.
To be fair, like you're Will Smith and you filmed Wild Wild West. What are you going to say when you're being paid to promote it? Like, oh yeah, man, my character's great. This movie's great. No matter what it is, that's what you have to say. It's what you're paid to say.
Oh no, I don't blame Sophie Turner. She's reading the note cards that are given to her for these interviews. It's like at this time it's just like wind between my ears. Like, okay, I got you. Like, to call me when you prove it.
Yeah, it's just that it's the same thing because this was my frustration with the last episode, and also it kind of tied back to to Sansa's rape scene. Like, they're really black and white here. Like, the writers just don't get that there are ways for characters, female or male, to exhibit agency even in situations where they are not being agents and they are not active and they are being tormented. And there were so many things Sansa could have done in the last episode to just show a tiny amount of spine, of personality, of whatever. And they either aren't interested or don't know how, or maybe they have some great reason not to write it that way. But as somebody she is my character in the show, it's continually frustrating.
So what is Theon gonna do now? Is he just gonna try to kill Euron or something? That's how it felt to me.
I don't think he knows Euron is around.
Well, when he finds out, it sounded like he's saying he's making amends. It sounds like he's going to go on some kind of attempted Ironborn killing spree or something.
I thought he said he couldn't make amends and he was just going to peace out. I thought he said
is he going to be dead or?
Probably.
I think they're just going to use him because we're getting the King's Moot, so we need someone that we know. So they're going to use him to be kind of a lesser candidate for that. But then after that, what happens to him?
Probably too strange. But I wonder if they'll give Theon part of the Damphair plot. Like, Damphair kind of went crazy, right? And then he became super religious. So I wonder if he goes back home and coats himself in tradition to try to make up for his crimes.
Wasn't Yara talking to Damphair?
It was an old guy who was a priest, and it could have been Damphair, but it wasn't explicit.
Yeah. And that doesn't necessarily preclude that possibility that Steven's bringing up either.
I would dig that.
To be clear, they don't have a King's Moot every time a king dies. It's only when there's a succession question, right?
Yeah. And when they have a king. And that was kind of a little nitpick for me. I guess we're jumping ahead a little bit.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that.
In the next scene, when she's like, "I'm gonna rule the Ironborn," and I'm, oh hey, shut up, woman! Don't you know we have the King's Moot? You ain't decided nothing yet. You've had a king for 200 years? Okay.
Let's go ahead and move to Pyke then, where we have Yara telling Balon that all their last northern strongholds have been lost, including Deepwood Motte. Balon demands to know where Thea. Wait, what? What is this saying? Oh.
Power through.
There's actually literally one missing word. Balon demands to know where Theon is. Yara demands to know where his kingdom is. Balon walks out in a huff onto a creaky bridge in the middle of a heavy storm. He is met by a cloaked man who reveals himself to be none other than Euron Greyjoy. Euron says that now is his time to rule. Balon says that a man who could lose his sanity in a storm is no Ironborn, and goes to stab him with a hidden blade, but Euron throws him off the bridge before he can. The next day, the Ironborn return Balon to the sea. Yara swears vengeance for her father, but a drowned priest says that she will have to win her throne at the King's Moot first.
Did he say he was Euron? Was his name actually stated?
I don't remember.
No, he said he was the storm.
I think he said brother.
He said brother, yeah. It's obvious who it is, but they send him out to sea in a casket that floats. Isn't that just going to wind up on some other beach nearby?
Unless there's an outgoing tide, they put it into the surf where it's just going to keep on pushing it back.
It would be anticlimactic if he just went back and just sat there on the beach.
And why did they put him in a lobster cage?
Yeah, I like that.
A boat.
Make it delicious for the fishes.
So he can catch lobsters.
To get more lobsters?
Drowned God's watery holes.
All right, any non-lobster cage thoughts on this?
Oh, I have more lobster cage thoughts.
Sorry, Adam.
Is Euron missing an eye? I can't see with the shot.
I didn't see an eye patch or anything.
No, he had both eyes.
Who else laughed hysterically when he just like flipped him over the rails? Like, come on, like that was hilarious.
I didn't. I was like, what?
Well, like obviously this guy means to do him harm, so he just walks closer and just close enough that he can grab him quickly and flip him over. While Balon barely
try to stab him.
he can barely hold on. And he walks right up to this guy who's clearly got, better balance than him, awkwardly tries to pull out a knife and just whoop, gets flipped over into the sea.
Balon doesn't seem to have a strong sense of self-preservation, so...
It's the Ironborn
Also,
way.
Pyke seems to be very poorly constructed.
Yeah.
We knew that, though.
How did they build
Architecture
that last
fail.
part?
Even sober, walking over one of those bridges is your death.
Well, the castle's eroding into the sea. Like, it's falling apart, literally.
Isn't the legend, like, the lore behind it was that Pyke was a lot bigger, but over time, like, parts of the castle have collapsed?
Yeah.
And eventually it will just sink into the sea, probably. And we do know these bridges are supposed to be extremely treacherous, but of course, since the Ironborn are so hardy and awesome, that they like it that way.
So are we taking this as any sort of indication for the book? As to how Balon died, Faceless Man or Euron, or like, is that what we're thinking?
Yeah. We always thought that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he also just died on a bridge, right? I mean, not like that. He was coming back with his army or navy or whatever, and just died one day falling off the bridge.
We heard that story, but we also see the vision with the ghost of High Heart, where she says that there was a man with a crow's eye and whatnot.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Basically the
the
same.
funeral scene is shot in Ireland or coast of Scotland or somewhere. It was very beautiful. It looked great on my giant HD television.
Ooh, show off.
Humble brag.
Brag.
Yeah, it's only 65 inches.
No, but really, it was a gorgeously shot scene, and I'm glad that Yara's getting some screen time again. Missed you, girl.
I know, me too. Is this a season you're going to be smart or really stupid?
Did anybody think it was odd that Yara used Asha's line against her, or the insult against Asha about pine cones and rocks is all you're going to get?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was just thinking about that, yeah.
Yeah, but it was weird that Euron's younger brother, he's like 35 years younger than him, or 40 years younger than him. The actors, at least. It's a big spread.
That is weird, yeah. We do get his immortal line, although changed. The whole, when people see my sails, they pray. So, that was cool, I guess. Any other thoughts on Pyke?
Salt Throne? It's called the Salt Throne?
Salt Throne. Sure, why not?
Okay, moving on.
I think currently we're all sitting on the Salt Throne at this point.
Perhaps. All right, then, let's go ahead and go to the final scene then, once again returning to the wall, where we have Davos going to Melisandre and asking if she might have some magic that would bring Jon Snow back to them. Melisandre says that she had seen a man brought back to life by a red priest, but also that she does not have that power. She says that she was a fraud, that the Lord never spoke to her. Davos says that none of it matters and that she still has power. Melisandre agrees to try. She goes before Jon, cleans his wounds, speaks some words before his body, and gives him a nice hair trim. Unconvinced that anything worked, Tormund, Melisandre, Ed, and finally Davos walk off. As the door closes, Ghost wakes, and so does Jon Snow, gasping for air. He's alive! Oh my god, guys! Can you believe it?
No. I thought they were going to troll us.
They drew it out.
Yeah, I did think they were going to drag this out for like another 6 episodes or something.
Yeah.
As he slowly decomposes.
I thought it was going to end on Ghost like perking up and then like credits and be like, what? Great.
I thought, yeah, it would be like him working into Ghost or something.
But I guess they learned it. They've learned their lesson. That's a stupid thing to do.
I have a question in the show continuity. When they did Beric Dondarrion, did he get the kiss of life, or was it just Thoros kind of went and prayed?
I thought there were words, and he got in close. I'd have to go back and revisit that, but there was no like breath of fire or anything like that.
It's just weird. Like I was trying to read from her expression, like what she thought was happening, or because it's like she was just massaging his pecs very slowly, and I was like, is his color coming back? Is the wound healing up? I couldn't really. I guess nothing was happening.
She was rekindling his fire.
But we found out that the key to R'hllor's rituals is L'Oreal hair care.
Yeah.
And it turns out that Thoros must have been quite the beautician if he has to do all that hair trimming all the time.
Yeah. Jon Snow is the perfect person for this, really.
Mm-hmm. I kind of think the whole thing was bullshit, and Melisandre was just making it up, and all of Valerian that she was muttering was just, please, God, please make it work. And I think the only thing that actually did it was the word please at the very end.
I mean, I thought she was going to die, so it was kind of a surprise that...
Give her life.
Right, she's still walking around, but more to do, I guess.
She still may.
So can she raise bald people from the dead, or what if you have no hair? Does that, like, you're screwed?
Probably. They look elsewhere for your hair. They look elsewhere. Yep.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't really have worked for Stannis.
He's got a fringe.
And no head.
You know what? Lord of Light does not want no fringe.
I forgot about that, Paul. I forgot. Still not confirmed on the show. He's still walking around.
She had already changed her conviction to think it was Jon, so now she's on Team Jon again.
Yeah.
So I do hope there's a confrontation between Davos and Melisandre about what went down with Stannis at some point.
But who's going to tell her? Who's going to tell him that? Like, she's not going to tell him. I mean, there's no survivors as far as, like, where is that going to happen where someone tells him, oh, by the way, she burned Meereen before the last battle. But he should have asked her that.
Yeah, I actually don't know. And that's why he's very friendly with her at the time being.
Yeah, which bothers me anyway, because he has no reason to be. Just because they're, like, shared... I guess because they're both survivors of Stannis, I guess. Stannis is
survivors of Stannis.
Yeah,
I didn't
I'm guessing he believes that
it was tough, guys.
Stannis' army was defeated completely, including his wife and daughter.
I mean, it seemed like he suspected something was going to happen before he left, so it is weird that he's not at least asked about it.
There's also that one part of the trailer where it looks like Stannis is standing next to somebody being burned. So I think somebody still has to die, right?
Wait, what? Stannis is standing next to somebody?
Oh, sorry, no, Davos.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm going back to sleep.
Burn the witch.
Stannis.
When Greg wakes up in the morning, it's just, mind my rights. Back to sleep.
So what's going to happen with Jon? We always thought in the book, or at least some of us thought, that there would be some kind of cost to him being brought back, that he might be different, or he'd be somehow changed by the experience. Do we think that's going to be how it is in the show? He seemed normal so far, but we haven't seen him do anything yet. So
all he can say is Hodor.
And then we know what happened.
And he seems okay so far. He just opened up his eyes.
Well, yeah,
breathe.
He doesn't
All he
seem
can
like...
do is heavy breathing.
Can't control the volume of his voice.
The way he woke up was like, oh man. Oh, I had a dream that I was in like this really like botched up version of Game of Thrones, and I just, oh god.
I thought that was going somewhere else.
So do we think he's going to be like weirdly out of sorts, or is he going to like how is Kit Harington going to play? Is he going to be just normal Jon Snow again, or is he going to be like there's something not quite right there?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. And it would be cool if he was somehow different, that there was some kind of cost to this. You know, that would be fun. But
hope so.
Can Kit Harington play Jon Snow differently?
I mean, obviously he's got to have had brain damage. It was like 48 hours? I mean, come on.
Are you bringing science into this, Adam?
I'm just hoping like this is like Pet Cemetery, and he just starts killing off like Ollie and Alistair Thorne.
We just have to look at Barrack, at least show Barrack, and kind of see like he was a bit off, but he was still himself.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, this is just it's the same. We thought that maybe in the book he is revived a different way, or we don't really know. But I mean, I guess it's just the same thing, so we kind of can expect similar results.
I don't think the show is brave enough to make it a big change. I'm pretty sure Jon's just gonna be back to normal.
Like how awkward it would be at like a dinner to be sitting next to the guy you stabbed 1,000,000 times.
Yeah.
Jon should just go around shirtless from now on to show off his stab wound.
Is it gonna is he healed up inside, or like can someone stick their finger inside him? Does he have Jesus wounds?
Gross.
Thomas, it becomes a good party trick.
All his organs.
Dolores said is definitely Thomas. Stick your finger in me. Come here.
They cleaned his wounds. I mean,
ugh.
I don't know.
Give Jon the shocker.
Yeah,
Dolores.
That'll be fine.
Why was Tormund okay with bringing back the dead?
He didn't really seem okay with it. I don't know. The looks I was getting was like, some fucked up shit, guys. And then when it didn't work, he walked away kind of like, all right, guess that didn't work. Almost
relieved. He expected it to work.
Yeah, I think he just really wanted Jon back somehow, but he was not down with this whole shit.
Well, from the preview of next week, it seems like they're going to be playing up. He mentions how the Wildling thinks he's a god or something now. So that'll be his card to unite them behind him.
Aren't they already kind of united behind him? I mean, he saved their asses, so.
Well, I mean, at least to make them into you're my people now, basically, because he's something other than a nice.
He's gonna be we got black cloaks for all of you. Lots of extra black cloaks.
He's a fucking Stark. and he's about to bitch slap Ramsay.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out the angle that they're going to take. Are they going to take the "I died, my watch is done, screw this night's watch," or is he going to be like, "I'm still the Lord Commander"?
I think he's going to be like, "Sir Alyssa, you decided that you don't want me as your Lord Commander. I'm going to have to take care of Ramsay Bolton, and I'll be back to fight the White Walkers."
Why is Kit Harington even playing the part when Michal can just do it so much better?
Lord Commander.
Wait a minute. Was that not Kit?
Unfortunately, we couldn't get him for this.
Certainly, that couldn't have been a woman.
All right, Lord Snow.
I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny. I don't know why we're talking about this. No, but I do think that I hate the idea of Jon going like, "Oh, okay, well, never mind. Like, loophole, I hate that. But I don't think he's sticking around at the wall. I think he'll be back to the wall because it's like the others and all that. But I don't think that, I think with Ramsay Bolton on his way, this is like his opportunity to do right the thing that he does wrong in the book.
Well, do you think there's enough time in the season for them to have a battle with the Boltons and have another, whatever the next step up is with the others? And maybe they can end it with, like, the White Walkers are at the wall or something, but I can't see there being two huge battles in the north this year.
You're right. They're probably not going to get to the White Walkers this season, at least not in, like, a more pitched battle kind of way.
Probably use Bran and his visions to, like, hype it up and, like, this is what's coming. These are the real enemies.
I think if the North battle is not episode 9, because I think that episode 9 is supposedly a big battle scene. So if that episode does not end up being episode 9, I wonder if it'll be something White Walker related.
Could be. Any last thoughts on the episode before we wrap up? Okay.
More flashbacks.
Yeah, I hope for more, and obviously it seems like we're getting a big one next week. Yeah, and
let's all try not to complain about the armor, the accuracy of the Targaryen armor. Just enjoy the tower.
Guys, they would not have the dragon symbols on the armor. Also, where are their shields? Come on, guys.
I did not see Oswell once.
There was no
anywhere.
bad. Yeah, I would agree with him.
All of this and more you can look forward to next week on DragonCast, where we review the 3rd episode of Season 6. What is it called? It is
Oathbreaker.
Oathbreaker.
It's called Tower of something.
or that possibly.
I wish it was called the Tower of Joy. That would be nice for us. A nice poem.
Oh, fucking spoil it for everyone, Michal. God damn it.
So yeah, it will be Oathbreaker, directed by Daniel Sakai, written by everyone's favorite David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, and we'll be back next week to review that. Thank you guys very much for joining me. Thank you everyone for listening. If you want to check us out, we're on the VOK Podcast, WordPress, Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, YouTube, and you can also check us out on the forums at podcastofIceandFire.com. And that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.